2 hours of sleep, that's all he got before his own brother-in-law grabbed him and dragged him physically out of the bed, across the floor into the hallway. No warning, nothing, just dragged. And when he got angry about it, he was the one called like a bull. Hello guys, I am Tazeen and welcome back to the channel. Okay, today we have got two stories and both of them are something about crossing a line that really should have been obvious. Two very different situations but both about someone's boundaries just not being respected. Let's get into story number one and don't forget to subscribe before we start. Okay, so our pastor is a 30-year-old man and he is currently at his husband's sister's fiance's stag party. So his brother-in-law to be stags too, basically. He gives us some honest context first. He says this felt like a bit of a pity invite. It's mostly his husband's extended family and friend, not really people he personally close to. And here is the awkward part. This same weekend happens to be the one of his best friend's 30th birthday, which he had actually planned to attend, but he decided to go to the stag party instead because that invitation came first, and he did not want to disappoint his husband or his husband's family. So after a night of drinking, they all head back to the house. His husband's friend, and groom to be all decided to keep drinking. But our pastor is tired and just wants to go to the bed. He goes to the bedroom he was told he would be staying in and find another man already asleep in the next bed. Not wanting to wake him and cause any issue, he simply finds another available room, one with a single bed, and goes to sleep there instant. Totally reasonable, right? About 2 hours later, he is suddenly woken up by his brother-in-law physically dragging him out of the bed and across the floor into the hallway. Turns out this was apparently the brother-in-law's room. But here is the thing, nobody had told our pastor this was his room, so that he was supposed to be sleeping somewhere else entirely. He says he was understandably extremely angry and upset. He had been asleep for 2 hours, gets suddenly woken up and is being physically mismanhandled out of bed with zero idea he was even in the wrong room in the first place. And when he reached angrily to being dragged across the floor, he was apparently described as being like a bull simply because he was visibly upset. Our pastor is fair about this. He says he understands his brother-in-law may have been drunk and annoyed to find someone in his room. He is not claiming he had some inherent right to that specific bed. He even says clearly if someone had woken him up and simply said, "Sorry, that's actually my room, can you move?" he would have been moved without any issue at all. But being physically dragged out of bed across the floor, he says that felt completely disrespectful. Now he is wondering if he is overreacting because everyone else at the party seems to be treating the whole thing as harmless, drunken, messing around. But he found it genuinely disrespectful and honestly quite upsetting. AITA for being angry and reacting strongly after being dragged out of the bed. Okay, this one is really not complicated for me. Being physically dragged out of the bed across the floor by another adult is not messing around. That someone putting their hands on another person without consent over a simple room mix up that could have been solved with one sentence. Being drunk explains bad judgment. It does not erase the fact that this was genuinely aggressive physical contact towards someone who had done absolutely nothing wrong on purpose. And notice what actually happened here. He is the one being called like a bull for reacting for being manhandled awake. That's pretty unfair flip of the situation. The person who wrote physically dragged is somehow the one being judged for having reaction, while the person who did the dragging gets a pass because he was drunk. My verdict, NTA, not even close. There is a massive difference between an annoyed hair on room conversation and physically hauling someone out of the bed. His reaction was completely reasonable given what actually happened to him. Alright, let's move to the story number 2. This one's about a promise that got broken almost immediately. Our second poster is a 25-year-old woman. Her husband is a 26. They have been together for 10 years and they actually just got married this past April. They had been trying for a baby, and a few days ago, she had a strong gut feeling that she was pregnant. They tested positive. She is only a few weeks along, maybe a month at most, or this is extremely early. Both of them were incredibly happy. That same evening, she asked her husband for just two things. First, please stop smoking inside, since they live in a small place and she can smell it everywhere now. And second, please don't tell anyone yet. She wanted to wait until around 3 months, or at least until she personally felt ready. Now, here is some context. Her husband's aunt basically raised him, and they also were together. So, the very next day, he tells his aunt they are expecting. Later, he tells our poster that it was just really hard for him not to say anything. She reminds him about their plan and asks him again, please don't tell her. And when he gets home, she finds out he already told her. He had lied to her about it. Our poster says something in her just broke in that moment. She went from feeling like the happiest she had ever been to feeling like something that was supposed to be just theirs had been taken away from her. She wants to be clear. She is genuinely close to his family. She considers them like her own. This was never about not wanting them to eventually know. She simply did not want anyone to know yet. And she also mentioned she has not even told her own family or friends yet either because she wanted privacy for herself too. And exactly what she feared starts happening. She suddenly getting messages about doctors, medications, tests, appointments. She knows it's coming from a place of love, but she says clearly she does not want it. She wants to enjoy this pregnancy with her husband and handle things together on their own timeline. Her husband says he understood why she is upset, but that she also needs to understand his side. He wants to celebrate with his family and tell his grandparents who helped raise him. She understands wanting to share happy news, but if his family finds out, everyone finds out. There is another layer here too. His family strongly believe in the evil eye and jealousy, and at this very early stage, she feels more comfortable keeping the pregnancy private for exactly that cultural reason as well. She acknowledges something fair here too. It is his baby too, and she says it is not entirely fair for her alone to decide when everyone gets to know. But she clarifies she was not asking him to never tell anyone. She was asking him to simply wait until she was ready. Her husband tells her she is trying to control the situation just because she is the one who is pregnant. She admits maybe that's true, but she says she only wanted this to stay theirs just for a little while longer. Now she says she has so much anger and resentment built up that she does not even want to speak to him. They have been together for 10 years and she has never once felt like she did not want to be around him, and she admits that honestly scares her. There is also a family group chat and everyone has started asking about her pregnancy in it. She genuinely wants to leave the group chat. She does not want to be rude because she truly loves his family, but she wants privacy. She ends the post being really honest, and maybe she is being hormonal, maybe she is being petty, maybe she is overreacting. She genuinely does not know anyone anymore. AITA for being this upset with my husband for telling his family after I specifically asked him to wait, and would I be rude for leaving the family group chat because I need some space? Okay, I want to say this clearly. Wanting privacy during the early pregnancy is an extremely common and completely valid feeling. Many people choose to wait, sometimes for medical reasons around early miscarriage risks, sometimes simply for emotional reasons, wanting to hold on to something precious for themselves a little longer before it becomes a topic everyone has opinion on. She was not asking for something unreasonable. She was not saying never tell your family. She gave him a clear, specific, reasonable request. Just wait a bit. And he brought that request within 24 hours. And then did not tell her the truth about it until she found out herself. That's really the core issue here, and I don't think it's actually about whose baby it is. It's about a boundary being asked for clearly and being ignored anyway. calling her controlling for wanting to decide the timeline of sharing her own pregnancy news. Something happening inside her body feels like a pretty unfair label to put on her right now. My verdict, NTA, her request was reasonable, specific, and simple to honor. The hurt she is feeling is not really about the family finding out, it's about her husband choosing not to keep his words to her, or something this personal this early on. As for the group chat, leaving it for a little while to protect her own peace during an emotional time is not rude. It is just her setting a boundary for herself, and that's completely okay to do. What do you guys think? Was he wrong to tell his aunt so soon, or is she asking for too much control over the timeline? Let me know in the comments. Alright, guys, that's the both stories for today. Let me know your verdict on each one down in the comments. Was the reaction to being dragged out of bed justified, or should her husband have kept his word about waiting to share the news? If you enjoyed this video, please hit that subscribe button, smash the like button, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next one. Also, comment down below what stories you want me to read next. I read every single comment. Thank you so much for watching. I love you all. Take care of yourself, and remember, a promise is still a promise, even when it feels hard to keep. See you in the next video. Bye bye. Tata.